Brexit has changed everything in Europe, not just for the Brits. It's also changing things for people coming to the UK from places like this. We've come to Budapest to follow 3 people who, despite Brexit, are still determined to move to London in the next few weeks.
I'm Zsuzsanna, I'm 30 years old. I'm sitting in my empty flat. I've already packed up most of my belongings. These are basically my last days here in Budapest before I move to London. I can't wait for my new adventure there.
My name is Armin, and this is Várkert Bazaar. It's one of my favorite places in the city. I think I hang around a lot here in the summer. It's really nice. I was born here, I'm 20 years old, and currently I'm looking to find a job in the NHS. I want to continue to study medicine, and for that I want to gain some experience working in medical care.
I am Bettina and I'm 24. I've come to Budapest from Csenger with my friend because we'd like to go to London to work there. We visited a recruitment office to try to arrange things today. This is probably the last day we can spend in Budapest, and of course we'll be making the most of it. We can't wait to finally leave for London.
It's Zsuzsanna's last day before moving out of the flat she's rented for 5 years.
I decided to give these clothes, which I don't need them anymore, to a charity organization. This thing maybe comes from my mom, who comes from a very poor family, and she always helps people in need. It's a pretty hard moment for me. I like living here in this flat and in this city. I have tons of memories which connects to this place. And I also already asked for the difference between the standard of living in the UK and here in Hungary. And I know that from the same price for which I can rent this kind of flat, I will be only able to rent a room, a tiny room, somewhere in the outskirts.
Armin, who wants to work in the NHS, has met his friend Peter, who studies in London. They're planning to share a home together from September.
Yes, we are looking to find a flat, possibly for the 2 of us, or to live together with someone else, a 3-bedroom flat. When we heard about Brexit happening, it was a shocker. We didn't think it would happen, and obviously we were afraid. As we heard the first news that the market started to plummet, I first got anxious a bit what is going to happen. But as a month since Brexit has passed, and I've seen nothing, no major changes, I was really convinced about a future career in the UK, maybe as a doctor later on. Until Brexit happened, and it now made me a little bit unsure about things, but I'm just gonna have to wait and see how things unfold to be able to make that decision. But I definitely want to go to the UK to get an education. That's a priority.
Bettina and her friend are at the recruitment agency. They are receiving some practical advice on living in the UK.
I want to move to London. What kind of work I get doesn't matter at the moment. Later, when my language skills have improved, I'd like to start a business with a nail bar, a solarium and a hairdresser, a beauty parlour. Initially we were worried about what would happen if Britain left the EU, but now that it's happened we're not so worried because we've not seen much change. Hopefully there won't be any major changes, and anyway, some change is always necessary. But what will happen is a question for the future. I'm not at all worried about hate crimes, because they can happen anywhere, in Hungary or anywhere else, so I'm not worried about that at all. I think lots of people have gone to England because, like me, they've not found many opportunities for work in Hungary, and they can't get by. As for why they need so many workers in England, I can only say what I've read in the papers, which is that English people would be reluctant to do the kinds of low-paid jobs Hungarians will accept. Maybe the unemployment benefit is so good in England that a lot of people don't want to work. They just collect the money.
Later that evening, Armin is having dinner with his mother, sister and a friend. The conversation is dominated by his forthcoming move to London to work in the NHS.
I'm looking for assistant jobs, so it's basically any sort of healthcare, like nursing assistants, dietetic assistant, laboratory assistants, and they all require less qualifications than what I have.
Yeah, I do think it's a good idea for him to go. I mean, like, if this is what he wants to do, then I do support him.
I think my mom has concerns.
Yes, I do. Well, basically that you might not be able to find a job. This is my first concern, and like the most important one.
In all sense, and like in all senses, Brexit is in no way good for us, Eastern Europeans, as you would put it. Yeah, we can't see any good coming out of it. And yeah, that sort of openness and freedom of choice have disappeared with Brexit happening, because you need to just be more careful with your choices, because you are just uncertain whether what is going to happen to the UK and what's going to be next. Is it going to be a good place to live at or a bad one?
This is my farewell party before I move to London to study and work, and I'm waiting for my friends to turn up and to see them again. I hope not for last time. I know maybe I should be sad because this is a farewell party, but to be honest, I'm so happy to be with my friends, and I'm pretty sure they will come to visit me and we will spend a good time together anywhere where I live. And I know
At the party, the conversation turns to moving to the UK after Brexit, and Zsuzsanna's friends have different opinions.
I would like to stay in Hungary because I like my life, I like my job, and I don't want to change. I don't feel that I should.
Yeah, so actually with my girlfriend we plan to move somewhere abroad, and Britain was also in play. But now, so we have to find another country maybe. But I know Zsuzsa is very ambitious here, so I'm really proud of her, and I wish her good luck.
I don't think that the Brexit will definitely change too many lives. I mean, if somebody wants to work somewhere and get the chance and just prove themselves, it doesn't really matter if they are part of the European, it's manageable, because there are ways to basically stay somewhere if you really, really want to.
It's Zsuzsanna's last night in Budapest. She's come to Szabadság Bridge to watch the sunset.
I am concerned about the rising hate crime in the UK, but to be honest, in whole Europe and in Hungary as well. It's an ambiguous feeling for me to leave Budapest. It's a beautiful city. I love it. I love living here. It's hard to leave my friends, my mom. But despite of Brexit, I'm thoroughly interested in taking the next step of learning in an international environment.
Bettina and Armin are also upbeat about the prospect of change.
I think the best thing that will happen when I go out to England is that new opportunities will open up for me. I can find new friends, start a new life, improve my language skills, and get to know a new country.
This is a beautiful place. I was born here, I love it, and as you can imagine, it's a really hard time for me leaving this place, especially because I'm so familiar with it. My future here would be less bright. I think a better future awaits me in the UK. That's both in my personal life and both concerning my career and my education. That's why I really actually have to leave. That's how I feel.